No, Jonah, no! He'll take the twin.
We find our characters after their grandfather's funeral. That's when we meet them, and it all happens in real time. And it is Daphna and her two cousins who are brothers.
The character that I'm playing, his name is Jonah Haber, and he is the younger brother of Liam and first cousins to Diana, or Daphna, in the play.
And then there is one interloper, my oldest cousin's girlfriend, who he has, to our surprise, brought home for the funeral.
There's a lot of things that are very similar with Jonah and myself, David. We both never really want to rush to an opinion right away. We try to really hear both sides of an argument at times.
But when he starts making a mockery of Shiva, my blood is just gonna
He's not going to mock anything.
Yes, he will.
While in the inside, we know and have a sense of what we want in life and going on. So that's where I sort of identify with Jonah a bit. He does take a back seat a lot of times in the play. He does keep his opinions to himself, and he really tries to sort of bring both sides to a peaceful conclusion. He always wants shalom in the home, as I call it. So I sympathize with Jonah a lot on that front.
My relationship to them is, well, you know, it's like any family. I think if you saw behind the doors of any family unit, there would be sometimes tension, sometimes joy, a deep abiding love, but also a willingness to maybe say the things you wouldn't say to somebody else, especially if you're Daphna, because she kind of doesn't pull any punches.
Right, his Peace Corps whore. God, she was atrocious.
Some people describe her as being very religious, but she's also very forward-thinking. She's a impassioned young woman. She's in her 20s, and she holds very tightly to her beliefs in Judaism and to the legacy of her family.
And even Miyushi was like, I thought you weren't supposed to eat that on Passover. But Liam just smiles, pops a cookie in his mouth, and goes, I'm a bad Jew.
Yeah, the title Bad Jews seems to be a very polarizing one, and not just for people at large, but even in the Jewish community. I think that it makes reference to a very common trope in secular Judaism, which is, well, I'm a bad Jew. Like, I had a bacon cheeseburger, I'm a bad Jew. Or, you know, to be culturally Jewish, to be a part of that community, to be raised that way, to understand everything that being Jewish entails, but to not practice by going to synagogue, or to not, you know, believe in everything in the Torah, and so it's something you hear a lot if you hang out with Jewish people, like, oh, I'm a bad Jew. I haven't been to synagogue on Yom Kippur in like 10 years.
When he came up with the idea of the title Bad Jews, I felt that he was saying, many times people are accusing you if you don't go to synagogue or if you don't keep kosher that you're a bad Jew. Or other times, if you don't believe in certain things or if you don't profess to believe in other things, that means you're a bad Jew. But then sometimes it's how you treat other people and how certain things like tikkun olam and repairing the world, maybe that's your identity, and that's how you identify with being a good Jew. And is that enough? Is it not enough? Every Jew is going to have a different opinion. Every person is going to have a different opinion. And if you've ever heard the expression, 2 Jews, 3 opinions, it's quite accurate in this play, I find.
If you choose not to see it, that's your choice. But the fact remains, he looks down on me and he looks down on my family.
He does not look down on you or your family.
That's actually the really cool thing about this play, is that it is very distinctly Jewish. I mean, the title is Bad Jews, of course, but you really could watch this play and relate to it from any faith or any family, because you're tackling the same things, like what of your faith is inherited and what of your faith is what you actively pursue and believe.
I think this play has been a huge success because it's sharp, it's funny, and it rings true. When you realize something that is true and you say, oh my God, I've thought about that. Oh my God, my parents have suggested that, or my friends, and I felt conflicted like that. It is funny. Once it rings true and you realize that and you identify with it, you can't help but laughing and says, I know people exactly like so-and-so, and I know someone who's exactly like that. And then you just personalize it very much, and then you realize, oh my God, I could be living this life as well too.
There is like an energy of 4 scrappy young actors on a stage that makes you kind of lean forward in your seat. And I think when people see that, they become a part of that excitement and that energy.
It's a 90 minutes, buckle yourself in kind of play where you can't get out. And I think it's gonna shake things up a bit.
Poppy Sky. I want it.